everyone, welcome to DIY Mommy's Minute. Today we are going to make some holiday centerpieces. These make the perfect gifts and they're so easy and budget friendly. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to need is a charger plate or a tray. This one was purchased from Dollarama for $2.75 and they had a variety of colors and patterns. You're also going to need some type of foam to go on top, and you want it to fit in the inner circle of your plate, so it doesn't need to be that big in size. The first thing you'll need to do is hot glue that foam onto the middle of your charger plate. I also added some hot glue all the way around the foam just to make sure it stayed in place. The next step is deciding what candle you're going to use for the middle of your centerpiece. Dollarama has these cute battery operated candles that are $4. They also sell the wick candles, so it all depends on your preference. These ones are from Dollarama for $4 and they had a nice scent to them. So to hold my candle in place, I will be using an old candle topper. This one was from Bath & Body Works. I found it was the perfect size, but you can use any candle topper. They have a variety of ones now with decorative patterns on them that would be really cute. So I went with the Bath & Body cap. And I just made it a little bit fancier. I took the ribbon that I'll be using for the front bow and I cut it and hot glued it into the middle. So when you take the candle out, it looks a little bit more decorative. So here's what it looks like with the ribbon applied into the center, and I'm just going to add it on top of the foam using your hot glue. Next, we're going to go ahead and add some greenery. This 8-foot garland was purchased at Dollarama for $4.75, and it was the perfect size for these centerpieces. So what you want to do is get some wire cutters, and you want to cut pieces of the garland into about 5 or 6 inches in length. You then can place a little bit of hot glue at the end or on the wire part of the garland, and you'll insert it into the foam. And you're going to do this all the way around, fluffing out the branches as you go. The more greenery that you add, the fuller the centerpiece will look. So here's what the centerpiece looks like when I have the garland all the way around the sides of the foam. Now you want to take the garland and using that same technique, you're going to add it to the top part of the foam, remembering to fluff out your branches as you go. So here's the progress I've had so far, and you can still see some of the foam. So what I'm going to do is just take smaller branches from the garland and I'm going to hot glue them over that foam so I can no longer see it. So here's what it looks like, nice and full, and you can no longer see any of that foam. This gives you a nice clean slate to start decorating your centerpiece. The next thing that I will add will be a big bow for the front of the centerpiece. So I will be using the buffalo checkered plaid, and to make my bows I use twist tie as well. So this one was purchased at Dollarama. It comes over a pack of 2 for $1.75 and it's in the Christmas section. So this ribbon was purchased from Michael's. It's wired ribbon and it is 2.5 inches in width, and this bow is called a pom-pom bow. So you're first going to start with your tail, and then you're going to make a little loop. And then you're going to twist your loop around, and then you're going to pinch it in the middle with your thumb and your pointer finger. So you'll hold that pinch throughout the whole making of the bow. You're then going to make a bigger loop on the opposite side of your first tail, and then you're going to hold it in the middle with that pinch. Then you're going to make the same size bow, so the larger loop on the opposite side, and then again you'll hold that ribbon in the middle with that pinch. And you're going to continue with this method until you have 3 to 4 loops on either side of the small loop, and you just keep holding that pinch throughout the whole making of the bow. And then when you get to the very end and you're happy with how the bow looks, you will use that twist tie to keep the pinch in place. So you're going to put the twist tie right through the smaller loop and loop around all the other loops and then twist it in the back. I do have a video on how to make this bow on my YouTube channel. I'll post the link in the description box if you're interested. There's actually a few different types of bows that you can make. No bow maker needed, you just need your ribbon and some twist ties. So once your twist tie is in place, you can then go ahead and cut the ribbon from the spool, and this will be your second tail. You can then go ahead and trim your tails by folding them in half and cutting upward to create that V pattern on both sides. Next, I'm going to attach my bow onto my centerpiece. I'm just going to use the twist tie that I used to create the bow, and I'm going to wrap it around part of the greenery. Once your bow is attached, you can then go ahead and fluff all of your loops. I'm then going to go ahead and add some pretty red roses. These ones were purchased at Dollarama, and I'll have one on either side of the bow and then one in the back. So all you need to do to add your roses is trim the stem, and then you're going to stick it into your greenery and secure it with hot glue. I like to add all of my decor to the greenery first, and then when I'm happy with the design, I'll go ahead and start hot gluing them all in place. Next thing I'm going to add are some red holly berries. These ones were purchased at Dollarama. They came in a bag full of holly berries with wire attached. So very easy to secure onto a wreath or centerpiece or a saddle. I'll also be using these picks with my centerpiece as well. It just adds some different greenery. So I got some long pine here, some pine cones. So I'm just going to take these apart and we're going to add them into our centerpiece. So I first went ahead and I took the pine cones off the pick and we're going to add them onto the centerpiece. And then I took these long pines and I added them the same way, just applying some hot glue, sticking them into the foam, and I put them in the bottom just because they're a little bit larger than the spruce that's already on there, and it just gives it a variety of different greenery. So I ended up using 4 of the long pine and I just placed them in all 4 corners. Here's the bag of holly berries that I added, and I'm just adding more onto the back side of the centerpiece. Next, I found these spruce picks at Dollarama for $1.75, so super budget friendly, and each branch just easily pops off. So I'm just going to distribute each branch throughout this centerpiece. So here's what the centerpiece looks like so far. Some really nice detail with all the greenery. It really adds that special touch and makes it look high end. I also ended up adding some lamb's ear just around each of the roses. I had it left over from a previous craft. So I just tucked a branch or 2 under each rose, and then I secured it using hot glue. The last thing I wanted to add was some sparkle to this centerpiece. So this pick was purchased at Dollarama for $2.50, and all I had to do is just pull each branch off, and then I distributed it throughout the centerpiece, securing with hot glue. So here's the final product. I think it turned out beautifully. Here's another centerpiece I created. I used the red train ribbon, and then for the sparkle, I used gold leaves with some Christmas poinsettias. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it inspires you. Please like and subscribe for more DIY fun. Happy holidays!